send Topuria back to top 15 pound for pound. For me, it's easier to fight Topuria than Oliveira.
Wait,
for my
I
style.
don't understand that though. I don't understand that, Arman. Like, how can you say that?
Because I like to take down people, you know. When you take down Charles Oliveira, he still can like choke you or do some mission.
He almost had you. You almost had.
Yeah, but Topuria is gonna try to get up, and then you can like just go like 1,000 times to take him down because there is no problems on the ground.
Well, that Bryce Mitchell fight that you were speaking about, he won that fight by submission.
Maybe he's a good guy, but not the best fighter.
Understand how anyone in this weight class can say that they should get a title shot over Arman Tsarukyan. He was the #1 contender for the last year. He was in line to fight for the belt in Los Angeles, and then it didn't happen. It was because his back went out, right? Some people were saying it was a weight issue. Well, today he stepped on the scale as a backup fighter and looked in phenomenal shape. It just feels like Arman Tsarukyan should be next to fight for the championship.
Arman Tsarukyan has just issued a brutal warning to Ilia Topuria ahead of their potential clash. Moreover, Arman Tsarukyan firmly stated that he has zero doubt about defeating Ilia Topuria. He thinks his complete arsenal and dominant wrestling will shut Ilia down entirely. Arman aims to prove that the attention surrounding Ilia is overblown and that he operates on a much higher level.
I'm curious, tell us more about how you see a matchup with Topuria playing out.
I'm just take him down and hold him and just maul him, and I just finish him on the ground, and he's not gonna able to escape from me.
The wrestling and the takedowns are the key then.
Yeah, and my kicks, my wrestling, my ground and pound, and my strengths. Boxing, he's good on one thing, on the boxing, but me, wrestling, kicks, ground and pound, and like a control time.
So the more well-rounded fighter you believe is yourself.
I mean, 4 versus 1, who's gonna win? I mean,
sure.
if you're not gonna stay on his boxing distance, how he's gonna beat you? I don't know.
Arman Tsarukyan discussed the potential matchup with Ilia Topuria and made it clear he won't rely on a single strategy. He plans to blend striking, kicking, and grappling to keep Ilia off balance. Arman believes this mix will leave Ilia puzzled and reveal who truly holds the superior skill set in the octagon.
I'm just can't wait to go there and to show like who's the Arman Tsarukyan and why I'm #1 contender, and that day I'm gonna be a world champion. So it's not just wrestling. I'm a well-rounded fighter, and I'm not gonna just try to wrestle him. I'm gonna strike him. I'm gonna kick him. I'm gonna up kick him, and and like try to do. But yeah, obviously I'm not gonna try to box him. I'm gonna try to do like a real MMA fight, to show him wrestling, to punch him wrestling, to show him wrestling, to kick him, and like clinch work.
Daniel Cormier fully backed Arman Tsarukyan as the rightful next title challenger, saying no one else in the division deserves the shot more. Not Paddy, not Gaethje. Cormier believes Arman has already shown he's ready and consistent, staying among the top for a reason. In his view, Arman is the one who has truly earned the chance to fight for the belt.
Understand how anyone in this weight class can say that they should get a title shot over Arman Tsarukyan. He was the #1 contender for the last year. He was in line to fight for the belt in Los Angeles, and then it didn't happen. It was because his back went out, right? Some people were saying it was a weight issue. Well, today he stepped on the scale as a backup fighter and looked in phenomenal shape. It just feels like Arman Tsarukyan should be next to fight for the championship.
Demetrius Johnson agreed with Cormier and criticized the UFC for passing over Arman Tsarukyan. He said Arman is the real top contender, but claimed the UFC is more focused on hype and profit. Demetrius called it a reality show and said choosing fighters like Paddy and Ilia is just a way to sell tickets rather than reward merit.
Don't give it to Justin Gaethje. Give it to Arman Tsarukyan.
Who?
Give it to Arman Tsarukyan.
This guy?
No, not Paddy. That's the right. It needs to be him. Arman Tsarukyan.
What's this big?
I don't know. I mean, this is what I'm talking about, guys. This is why I say it's a reality TV show. It's like, obviously, Arman Tsarukyan is the #1 contender. He's ranked number 1, whatever you guys want to, go by the rankings. But they're forcing this fight with Paddy Pimblett versus Ilia Topuria just because it's probably going to sell more. But I think the rightful person who should be getting the next title shot at lightweight is Arman Tsarukyan.
Demetrius also said he doesn't see Ilia Topuria trying to wrestle with Arman Tsarukyan at all. He expects Ilia to keep the fight on the feet and go for a quick knockout. According to him, Ilia isn't interested in proving anything on the ground and just wants highlight reel finishes.
Like, I don't think he's just going to risk going into where Arman's good just to prove a point.
No, I think he's gonna knock Arman out. I don't think he cares to wrestle with anybody. I think he's gonna get himself to the right spot and try to knock everybody out.
Demetrius Johnson also said he believes Arman Tsarukyan should be the one to fight Ilia Topuria next, calling him the true top contender. However, he thinks the UFC will choose Paddy Pimblett instead because the rivalry and drama will generate more money. Johnson argued this shows the UFC is more about entertainment than sport, even comparing it to WWE.
Who is next for Ilia Topuria? Now, technically, it should be Arman Tsarukyan because he is truly the number 1 contender. But they basically forced this Paddy Pimblett versus Ilia Topuria engagement because there is beef between those guys. They have had some exchanges before outside of the octagon. But this is where I had this hot take recently this week is that I said the UFC is not a sport. Like, they get to dictate what they want to push the narrative of what the fans want to see, which that's not what a sport is dictated on. And it's funny because my dad and my wife, Destiny, were watching the fights. They're like, what the f? It's like WWE all over again.
Din Thomas believes Arman Tsarukyan would be the toughest matchup for Ilia Topuria out of anyone. He said Arman is much better at managing range and has more effective takedowns than Paddy Pimblett. Din added that Ilia would have no trouble dealing with Paddy on the ground. Still, despite Arman being the harder fight, Din thinks Paddy will likely get the title shot first because of his popularity and heated rivalry with Ilia.
Who is the most likely to get the title shot?
I think Paddy is still most likely to get it right now. He's just gonna have to be fair with the number.
Yeah, he's gonna have to be. Who's best suited to be the most competitive with Topuria out of those?
Arman.
Gaethje, Paddy, or Arman?
Arman.
Din Thomas went on to say that Arman Tsarukyan poses the biggest threat to Ilia Topuria. He pointed out that Arman is much sharper with distance, has quicker takedowns, and can blend his attacks better than Paddy Pimblett. Din mentioned that Arman's head kicks and fast scrambles would constantly force Ilia to adjust. On the other hand, he believes Paddy would struggle and could even get dominated on the ground by Ilia. For Din, Arman stands out as the real danger and the toughest test for the champ.
Arman, 100%. Here's why. Paddy might kick better. They might be close in that. But I think Arman will understand the range a little better and he shoots better. I think he shoots better than Paddy. Yeah, I think Arman does the best against him just because he'll kick more high kicks and he'll use the range a little better on the outside and shoot faster.
And scramble better.
Yeah, and scramble better. Paddy will just pull guard and Ilia might even dominate him on the ground. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
yeah, I thought the same thing. Well, I guess we're gonna see.
Meanwhile, Alexander Volkanovski shared his view that the way to beat Ilia Topuria is to drag him into deep waters and test his gas tank. He thinks Ilia hasn't been truly pushed to the limit and believes constant wrestling pressure could be the key to wearing him down and breaking him.
Tell us, so what's the strategy against a guy like Ilia? Let's say you guys run it back again.
Wrestle the bloke, mate.
You got to get him down, right?
Him down. Look, that's what you want. You want to see what's going to happen with his gas tank. So even with Ilia, great fighter. Like even a lot of the things he does, like I'm sure a lot of it's well trained, and then he's got so many good instincts as well. Like even him just shifting that way, he's probably trained for that. But then just as soon as he wanted to square his hips up with the right hand, the power was there and put him in a safer position while he was firing too. So just little things like that he probably trains for, or it's just great instincts. But yeah, he's we want to see the gas tank, see what happens with that. Because I thought Charles, when he was taking him down and forcing the sort of wrestle and the grapple, I felt like it was starting to wear on him a little bit.
However, Arman Tsarukyan is fully confident he could dominate Ilia Topuria. He said the fight would be so one-sided that Ilia would fall far in the rankings afterward. Arman believes he could take him down repeatedly without any risk and control him completely on the ground.
I'll send Topuria back to top 15 pound for pound. For me, it's easier to fight Topuria than Oliveira. And then you can like just go like 1,000 times to take him down, because he's not gonna try to choke you or something, you know?
Arman also made it clear he's not worried about anyone in his path. While his focus is on the title, he's more than willing to face top names like Gaethje or Paddy first. He views those matchups as easy money and quick steps toward the belt. Confident and driven, Arman is ready to prove he's the true #1.
Gaethje said that if he doesn't get a title shot, he's going to retire.
I mean, he can do whatever he wants to do, so I don't care about Gaethje, Petty. I just need to fight for the title.
Yes, there it is. You wrote. By the way, I have to say.
Yeah, if UFC say like a fight with Gaethje, I'll take the fight and as soon as possible, and then fight with Ilia.
Okay, you'd be open to that.
Yeah.
What about Paddy?
Problem. Easy money.
Which one, Gaethje or Paddy?
Both of them.
However, Ilia Topuria made it clear in an interview that his main goal is Islam Makhachev. He doesn't seem to care about anyone else or any other matchup at all.
At some point, I was a little bit sad because I didn't want to fight against him since the beginning. My real goal always was Islam, but since he decided to run away, it has to be Charles.
Ilia Topuria claimed that Islam Makhachev moved up to 170 to avoid fighting him. He said if the UFC had offered Islam a fight with someone like Justin Gaethje, he would have stayed at lightweight. Ilia believes Islam sees him as a serious threat and knows he could get knocked out. He also mentioned that even Khabib doesn't want the fight to happen because they know he has the tools to win.
The Ilia to avoid you? Is he scared to fight you?
Listen, I think that he took a great decision. If the UFC would offer him to fight against Justin Gaethje or some another contender in the division, I think that he would stay at 155. But with me coming up, he was like, I don't have to take this risk. I'm gonna move up to the 170. I'm gonna try to get another belt. And that's all, because he knows that I'm dangerous. He knows that I'm gonna put him to sleep. Even Khabib. The only reason they don't want me to fight against him, because they know that I'm gonna beat him.
In another interview, Ilia said he doesn't truly believe Islam is scared of him, but thinks Islam is focused on other goals for now. Still, Ilia believes a fight between them is very possible in the future, either if he moves up or if Islam returns to lightweight, so they can give the fans the matchup they've been waiting for.
This was meant to be Islam, that was the big talk, but he moved up to welterweight. Do you believe he moved up to welterweight to avoid you, or because he has his own goals?
Because he has his own goals. This is what I think.
Do you still think that's a fight that should happen? You guys are both forging legacies in different weight divisions. Do you think that's a massive fight that should happen?
We'll see how he does in the welterweight division. If he wins the title, I win the title in the lightweight division. Maybe I move up or he comes down to the lightweight division and we have the fight that everyone wants to see.
Moreover, Arman Tsarukyan said that if Islam Makhachev had fought Ilia Topuria at UFC 317, it would have ended in a knockout. He was direct in his assessment, suggesting big changes are coming to the sport. While he respects Islam and sees him as being in a different league, Arman's main goal is to rise above everyone and claim the #1 spot in the world rankings.
What do you think would have happened if Ilia fought Islam this weekend?
Islam Makhachev.
He would have beaten him?
By TKO.
Oh, wow. Really?
I mean, that's a different level of fighters.
You think so? Wow.
You can't compare Ilia versus Islam.
Really? I have Ilia #1 pound for pound now.
Yes, because Islam not champion anymore right now.
Right.
But when he gets the second title, he's gonna be pound for pound #1.
So you think he beats Jack?
He beats Jack.
Yeah.
Became a pound for pound #1. I'll be pound for pound #2 champion lightweight division, and then beat Islam and became a pound for pound #1.
Wow, I love it. You have it all mapped out.
Demetrius Johnson gave a full breakdown of the matchup. He explained that as a southpaw, Islam Makhachev will likely rely on body kicks, smart footwork, and feints to manage distance. He added that Islam could use his judo to get the fight to the ground and hunt for a submission.
Well, Islam's a southpaw, so he's gonna probably throw body kicks to keep his arms busy, keep the distance, move, feint, maybe use some judo to take him down and try to get him to the ground and try to submit him. But you know, once again, like I have to see. I have to see what Islam does to JDM.
Demetrius also pointed out that Ilia Topuria becomes very dangerous once he finds his striking range. If he doesn't land early, he'll work to create the opening. The key question, according to Demetrius, is whether Islam can stay out of that danger zone or decide when and how to engage.
Oh, the one thing that's the factor is that Ilia is always going to focus on getting to the right spot and find his opponents. When he gets there, he's going to unload. If Ilia can't get there, then he's going to figure out another way to get there. So the question is, how does everybody avoid that sweet spot against Ilia? That's the question, because Ilia is going to fight in a 25-minute fight. That's what it comes down to. And then you go from like, hey, how does Islam keep Ilia away from that spot, or does Islam meet him there? Right? There's so much, that goes into it, and my brain is all over the place. So for me to give like a clear-cut answer, I'm just like, I'm running around in circles.
Beneil Dariush said he still favors Islam Makhachev in a fight against Ilia Topuria due to his size and ability to blend distance control with takedowns. He believes that if Islam sticks to using his kicks and wrestles smart, it would be a difficult fight for Ilia. However, Dariush admitted he wouldn't be surprised if Ilia landed a knockout shot based on what he's seen.
I think it would still go the same. I think, Islam has such a big size advantage, and if he, distance kicks, takedown, rinse and repeat. If he continues to mix those things up, I think it would be a difficult fight for Ilia. But from what I saw, it wouldn't surprise me if he was able to put Makhachev's lights out too.
Corey Sandhagen said he thinks Ilia Topuria would beat Islam Makhachev. He explained that Ilia's build would make takedowns difficult for Islam, and in a striking battle, Ilia has the clear edge. Sandhagen also mentioned that Ilia's defense is strong and doesn't believe Islam could do much damage.
I honestly think Ilia would win that fight.
Let me get your breakdown of that fight.
I'm gonna actually go against, I think, what most people say, and I honestly think Ilia would win that fight. I think his stature is gonna be hard to take down for Islam, and I think if those two are standing, I just think that Ilia is a way dangerous guy standing, and I just can't really see Islam hurting him because his guard is real good, and I think Ilia will win that one.
Bilal Muhammad said Ilia Topuria showed solid grappling against Charles Oliveira, but facing Islam Makhachev would be on a different level. He believes Islam's control, pressure, and wrestling would push Ilia into deep waters and test his cardio, especially in the later rounds.
See, the fight everybody wants to see is him in Islam. He showed that he does have wrestling defense. He defended Oliveira's takedowns on the ground. He passed his guard. He got to good positions on the ground. I know people are saying, oh, he got up from the ground, he didn't play the guard. It's like, he played the ground a little bit, then he got up, and then he knocked him out. So I don't know what you guys want. Everybody they're never satisfied, but he looked great. For me, when I look at that matchup and I break it down, I think Islam is very good with defense and with distance. If he's close, he's grappling. He's not staying in that brawling zone that Topuria loves. If he's within grabbing your range, he's grabbing you. And I don't care if Topuria is able to defend the first or second takedown, Islam's gonna keep you there. He's gonna push you on the cage. If I'm in Islam's corner, that's what I'm doing. I'm keeping him there, especially for the first, second, third round, trying to initiate that takedown. Oliveira got the body lock pretty early. Islam is really good there with the trips, with the body locks, with the single legs there. I think he would have continued grappling there, and it would have been a lot more interesting. It would have definitely got past the first round, and we would have seen how Topuria held up. He didn't really need to show his cardio.
Bilal also said the matchup between Ilia and Islam needs to happen and would be a must-watch fight. He doesn't view it as a simple striker versus grappler clash, noting that Islam has shown sharp striking lately. He thinks Ilia will try to pressure Islam, keep him moving backward, and take control of the cage, where Islam is less comfortable.
I'm excited for it. If it does happen, I do think it needs to happen. Stylistically, I don't think it's grappler against striker. Islam showed his last couple fights that he is comfortable on the feet. He's fought the shorter guy in Volkanovski, and he's played a little bit striking. He showed moments in that fight where he knocked him out with a head kick. And then the Dustin fight, he showed his boxing. He showed that he can hit on the feet. I think with Topuria, who does have really good grappling, really good wrestling, he's gonna wanna push Islam backwards, keeping Islam on his back foot, keeping Islam's against the cage where he's uncomfortable, and he's really good with his feigning. He doesn't really throw a lot of kicks.
Bilal added that Islam is smart with his kicks and avoids boxing range unless he's going for a takedown. He believes both fighters are likely already in talks with the UFC to make the fight happen. As for Ilia, Bilal said he's properly rated, highlighting his knockout wins over Holloway, Volkanovski, and Oliveira. He gave Ilia credit for living up to his talk and earning respect.
On the other side, Islam is really good with his kicks. If he mixes the kicks up low, body high, Islam's not going to be in that boxing range unless he's grabbing you. I'm sure both of them are on the call or are on the line right now talking to Hunter or Dana, and they're trying to work that fight. Is Topuria underrated or overrated? I mean, I think he's rated right? He's your last 3 wins, be a knockout of Holloway, who's never been knocked out before, to knock out Volk, who looked great at last fight, and then now just to knock out Oliveira at 155 up a weight class. I mean, how can you deny the guy? He talks and he says what he's gonna do and he does it. So you gotta respect him, you gotta give it to him. But yeah, I don't think he's underrated at all.
Bo Nickel named Islam Makhachev as the current top pound-for-pound fighter, but acknowledged that Ilia Topuria is a serious threat. He referenced Volkanovski's strong performance in his first bout with Islam as proof that Topuria could hold his own, both in grappling and in the overall fight.
I think he's the pound for pound #1 right now, and I think he can win.
Happen.
And what makes me think that Ilia will do really well against Islam is that Volk's first fight with Islam. I'm like, man, Ilya's wrestling is way better than Volk's. And obviously you could see how the striking went.
That's it for today's video. So what are your thoughts on this? Share your thoughts on this and make sure to subscribe and like if you enjoyed the video. Also check out our other videos on the screen right now.